Welcome to the channel. This is Dave Levine. If you've seen my show before, then you've seen this introduction and you've seen turn on, tune up, find joy. I use this phrase as a phrase for playing guitar. It's really a play off Dr. Timothy Leary's phrase, turn on, tune in, drop out, which was his phrase for taking acid. The picture you see me in the beginning, if you didn't know it was me, it is me, as a cowboy, was from a photo shoot that I did for 17th Street Guitars, showing that the guitars could also be used for playing country music. The song you hear playing is a song that I wrote called The Big Angry by my band, The Big Angry. Now, The Big Angry was a band in Los Angeles. We played from about 2001 to around 2008. The original band is the band shown here, and eventually the drummer and bassist were replaced with these two. And yes, that is Nick Menza from Megadeth. It's sad that we lost him. Here's a picture of Nick during better times celebrating his birthday at P.F. Chang's in Santa Monica. Also, while in Los Angeles, I worked with many other people. Krista was a Los Angeles singer that I worked with. Here's a picture of her and Lee Carreri and I. Lee, one of the best piano players. You may know him from fame, but what a great player he is and a great musician. Taught me a lot. I worked with Erin Ann Scott, who was a country singer. Here's a picture of me with Erin Ann and Vinnie Colaiuta. Working with Vinnie was like a dream, and he's just a great guy. I also got to work with some other great drummers. I worked with Ray Luzier, who was fantastic. We did songs for a film together. Shortly after working with Erin Ann, I got an offer to work for West LA Music, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to work at a guitar shop during the day, and at night I could continue doing session work. During this time, I got to meet lots of other great musicians and players and became friends with them as well. Here we can see Joey Allen trying to take my life. I must have pissed him off. Just kidding. I've got to work with really fantastic people. Grover Jackson, Gary Kramer. Here's Gary Kramer and I with Gary Harrison, who was the rep for Dean Guitars at the time. And yep, you guessed it, that's John Bingham with hair. Here's me at the same party with Anton O'Parin and his family. Great kid, phenomenal guitar player. Probably the best I've ever seen. One of the last gigs I got in LA was I was working for a singer named Noah Francis. I worked with him and a rapper, Prodigal Son, and we worked on songs and went to London and performed some shows. When I got back, shortly after, Noah's dad got ill and he had to take time off, so I decided I was going to take time off. Anyways, I came back to Boston. My dad was ill, and I started working here. I got to work with some great people. Here I am with Charlie Farron, local legend, and here I am with Danny Klein, who's a legend for wearing a purple suit. Actually, Danny's from Jay Giles' band. When I got back here and you start to see your parents not the strong people they were when you were a kid, you really start to see your own mortality. I figured there'd be a way that I could document everything that I've learned, everything that I've done, and that I would use that format on YouTube so I could teach people things that I learned and figured out, and maybe they could somehow improve their lives with it. At the same time, I like to do rants, so it was an opportunity for me to do a show where I get to just go off and talk about subjects that bother me in the music industry. Then it kind of snowballed into a lot of lessons because I was playing in a few bands and had so many songs to learn. I was like, I'll never keep these memorized, so I figured if I taught them, I could always go back and watch them myself. And that has kind of snowballed into something that's been really good on my channel. I keep my channel honest and open, and I'm not really into the niceties of other channels. I basically tell things how it is off the top of my head for an honest and more entertaining show. Instead of trying to make friends, I just try to be honest and I'll give my opinions, whether they like them or not. And sometimes it leads to some arguments on my live show, and that's good. I think debate is healthy. I like it. I'm harder on myself than anybody could possibly be. Therefore, if I tell somebody they need to practice, I'm just not into blowing sunshine up people's asses. Anyways, here's a few clips of what I do, and check out my channel if you like. Very good. But like when you sit there and you talk about bands like Van Halen, when Van Halen had like what's the fourth tour, Fair Warning tour, 1981. Those concerts were packed. Everyone was going, guys and girls. Some guys were going just to hear Eddie play. That was a very small minority of the people. The rest were going there to drink their balls off and hear party songs. And that's music. Like if somebody would have go say Eddie Van Halen, they'd be like, yeah, the guy has songs. Now Steve Vai comes out. He's even better than Van Halen. Yes and no. He's technically more proficient than Van Halen, but I can't listen to him for more than 2 minutes, so it doesn't matter. However, if I was an elderly homosexual gentleman looking to pick up 13-year-old boys, you could be damn sure I'd be at every Guitar Shredder concert.
Awful.
Isn't this guy? I'd be showing up like Paul Lynn with an ascot around my neck saying, isn't this fantastic? I have a collection of bootlegs at my place. Let me go down there and...
Does that make you a shreddo?
A shreddo.
A shredophile.
Yes, exactly. G major 7 to a G7. And then the chorus. You ready to play this one?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Baby, please.
Baby, please.
Please don't take your love from me.
Please don't take your love from me.
I am yours forevermore.
Evermore.
Till eternity.
Oh, yeah.
Silently.
So silently.
Listen to the words I say.
Listen to the words I say.
I'm not talking just for play.
Just for play.
Listen to
today's episode is possibly my all-time favorite album. It's easily in my top 3. It's hard not to have it at number 1. And of course, I am talking about this here. The Blue Nile Hats. I actually saw this tour in Boston in 1990 when they first came out with this album. It's a real important album, I believe. Second string. But I'm supposed to be really into watching. Oh, wow. Really? That's what that guitar can sound like? Yeah, thanks, shitbag. What the fuck am I wasting my time? You want to get better and you want to sound better and you want to chase somebody's tone? Fucking practice. Get in there and play the fucking instrument.